Hello, welcome fellow geeks to our TTRPGeeks of the next 3 weeks. We are playing through Defiant by Game Machinery, who is putting a Kickstarter up starting tomorrow to bring this game to a print edition. And it is a beautiful game, so that's very exciting. We have played this game through on our channel once before. We're going to give it another playthrough, number one, because it's awesome, and number two, because we want to support the Kickstarter coming out. So it's going to be good stuff. Now, this is not actually going to be run by me. I am filling in for Emily today. She has had a minor dental surgery. She's not feeling so good. She can't talk very well. So you guys have to deal with me this week, but you will have her beautiful wordsmithing for next week. So don't worry. So yeah, let's go ahead. Let's introduce our cast that we're going to have for this. And let's start with you, Chris. Tell us a little bit about you.
That shook me. People haven't called me Chris in like a year and a half. And so like I weirded out. But yes, hi, I am Chris. You can find me at Bright Dystopia on all forms of social media. I don't know what we're doing, but this is going to be interesting.
Oh yeah, it will be interesting. It will be fun. So yeah, do you prefer to go by Bright? Should we call you Bright?
Yeah, just go with it. I mean, it's really weird because like the only people who call me Chris are like my parents when I'm in trouble and my best friend from like high school.
Well, you are in trouble, so maybe we'll stick with Chris. I don't know.
So if I want to keep you shook, I'll call you Chris.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you. Felicia, tell us about you.
I'm Felicia, also known as Chris Shook. I'm just kidding. I am from the Side Quest and Podcast. We do Pathfinder 2, so that's super fun. Check it out. And I have known Level 1 Geek folks for a long time. Super happy to be doing this stream and excited to play this game that I have never played before.
Yeah, excited to have you on board. This game is super fun. I think you guys are going to like it. And then you guys know me and Katie. We're part of Level 1 Geek. Katie is gracing us with her face and not staying behind the scenes tonight. She's going to be playing in this one, so excited to have her on board. Is there anything you want to tell us about you, Katie? Did you want to tell us like any deep, dark secrets or special facts about yourself?
The only deep, dark secrets I have pertain to you, and that would take slight bribery, not a lot.
Yeah. Katie's plotting my destruction. That's no secret.
Yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. So that's us, guys. Welcome everybody. We don't have any chat interactions planned for this one. I don't know if Em has anything in mind for next week. We'll get there when we get there. But for this session, it's probably going to be a fairly short one. We're just going to go through character creation today. We wanted to give character creation its own session, kind of how we did on our last playthrough, because character creation in this game is super cool, I think. And it's fun, and it's got a lot of random elements to it. We're going to be drawing cards to make our characters, and it's going to kind of determine where we come from in this world. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And with that, I think we'll just jump right into it. So before we get started with the actual character creation, I feel like we should talk a little bit about the setting of Defiant, because it's really important. It's what makes this game so awesome. They have a super cool, unique setting. It's got some real like supernatural vibes to it. We're playing like angels and demons and things like that in a post-apocalyptic world. But this is not like nuclear warfare post-apocalyptic. This is like post-apocalyptic on like a spiritual religious sense. Like heaven has come down and is just wiping out Earth. But we are playing the Defiant, who are these supernatural beings who rebelled against the apocalypse and wanted to save our own little chunk of the world to keep it safe and just live our lives how we want to live it. So every setting of Defiant takes place in a domain. And a domain is basically, think of it as like a safe area that is protected by magical power to keep the destruction and creatures of the apocalypse out. And this domain is sustained and powered by these powerful artifacts that are called Sephira. And these Sephira are things that basically put out like a big aura of protection. It keeps things out. And the Sephira are powered by worship. Every Sephira is a little different. They have their own ideals that need to be followed, And the more strictly these ideals are followed, the more powerful the protection is, and typically the more the domain thrives. So we are going to be playing in one of their pre-generated domains called New Hethlin. And let's talk a little bit about New Hethlin and what their Sephra is all about. So this is kind of important for you guys as well as we're going through character creation, because you're going to want to keep these things in mind, because your whole livelihood depends on these Sephra. This isn't something that people scoff at unless they are like really messed up people, because this is your whole reason for rebelling against the apocalypse is to live in this domain. So every domain, regardless of the Sephra, has a few ideals, and all Defiant follow these ideals, because without it, everything just falls apart. These ideals are: the Defiant stand against the apocalypse. We're not working for the apocalypse. Apocalypse bad. We want to live our fancy lives that we want to, so we're against it. The lives of all Defiant are sacred. This one is a little open to interpretation, because sometimes we will punish other Defiant horribly. Sometimes we will take advantage of other Defiant, but murdering another Defiant or taking their lives is typically a big no-no, because again, we're all here to not die and to live out our own lives the way we want to. The Hierophant is the highest authority. The Hierophant is basically the speaker for the Sephra. The Sephra chooses a person to be bonded to them, and this person is what communicates all the ideals of the Sephra and tells us what we have to follow. The decisions of the Archons are irrefutable. Archons are basically the ones who serve the Hierophant and uphold the ideals of the Sephra. The Executors are the voice of the Hierophant. Executors are the left-hand people of the Hierophant, who basically they're the sheriffs in town. If things are broken and laws need to be executed and enforced, the executors are who take care of that. The principesses govern their provinces. In every domain, it's going to be broken out into provinces. And we in this game are going to be playing royalty. So we're going to have our own courts and our own houses that we rule over, but we are part of a province, and a principess or principessa will be over that, and we will be following them. In our case, it's a principessa in New Hethlin. And then the royalty is entrusted with their courts. So that means that we, the royalty, we get to rule things in our courts and our houses how we see fit. Those are the principles of every domain. Those are universal. Something also notable to visualize of domains: they are not connected. Domains are completely separate. So while the world is getting destroyed all over the place, we are in little bubbles of society. If you leave a domain, you're typically just going to be dead. Like, people don't often cross from one domain and another and live to tell about it. So we have our society. There are other societies out there, but we'll never know about them because we can't get to them. And aside from that, we have the Sephra, and the Sephra have their own ideals. These are individual per society. And the one that we have in New Hethlin has 3 major commandments that our characters are going to be following. And these are super important, because the more closely we follow these, the more favor we get from the Sephra. It'll fuel our power. It'll recharge our power. It'll keep our domain safe. The first is that we make example of those who stray from the path. A little bit of backstory on our domain in New Hethlin is there was an angel house, the House of Kamail, which tried to lead a civil war against the domain. This was years ago, so it's since been resolved. But that was a big no-no. People are mad about that. They do not forget it. So number one is anybody who makes some sort of transgression like that does not go unpunished. We punish people if they do big bads. And also we shame House Kamail. They are to be mocked. They are to not let it be forgotten what they did. That's just part of what we do for our worship. Second commandment that we follow is those of pure intentions do not cower from view. This basically means secrets are bad. We don't keep things from each other. If you're hiding something, if you're doing everything you should be, you shouldn't have anything to hide. So secrets are pretty frowned upon in our domain. And the third commandment is we revel in the domain reclaimed. And this means that we just party hard. We enjoy ourselves. We live life up to the fullest. We don't waste our lives on mundane things. We saved the society for a reason, and it was to enjoy our lives for as long as we could. So we party it up. That is a commandment of the Sephra. And then in addition to the Sephra laws, we also sometimes in the provinces, our principesses will make some additional rules that we're supposed to follow because they're in charge of the province. And we have one that is a bit interesting, which is we have a principessa who had some rough time in life with her love life. So she put in an extra province law, which is love brings only despair. So we kind of look down on being tied down to somebody. Everybody is kind of ambiguous with their love lives. Everybody is not supposed to be tied down to just one partner. We will have spouses, most likely, because royalty typically marries as part of like a formality, but not everybody is loyal to their spouses, and that's a law. Like, it's frowned upon if you are strictly tied down to your spouse. And that's pretty much the setting that we're living in. That's like an overhead view. That's what we're supposed to follow. So I think that's enough of that. Do you guys have any questions about any of that before we get started into the actual character creation? Awesome. I'm going to be done talking just all by myself then, and let's get into character creation. So the way that character creation works is pretty simple. There is a deck of cards, and the cards are broken down into different categories. Now I have a physical deck here that I'm going to be drawing for you guys, and then you should all have reference sheets where you can read these cards yourselves as well. We're not going to put them up on the stream, but we will talk about them and we will read them out loud. But before we do that, the first category we're going to be drawing for is going to be for our origins, which is like our ancestry, our race. And there's 4 of them in the world of Defiant, and I think that they are worth talking about. So the first of those is there's angels. Now, angels are the agents of the apocalypse who switch sides. They were spearheading the destruction of the apocalypse. They were supposed to lead the charge. But some of the Defiant said, we don't want to do this. We want to go live fun lives instead of destroy everything. So that is what the angels are all about. They're agents that turned. And they are described for their physical appearance as pretty much they look human, but they have like a really unnatural beauty to them. They are gorgeous. They will have exotic colored eyes. They almost seem to have a glow to them. And they do have the option to extend their wings and show off their beautiful wings. Kind of a cool thing about angels is all angels have a light form and a dark form. And they have different things they follow and different abilities if they're in their dark angel form or their light angel form. The second that we have are the Devas. Devas are the ancient mystical beings that have lived on Earth for a long time. Back in the age of magic, these were like some of the creatures that mythology talked about, some of the gods that people worshipped. They were these powerful beings that used to be worshipped, but when magic faded from the world, they kind of got forgotten. When the apocalypse came, they were supposed to be given one last chance to rise to glory again to their godly forms and help destroy everything. But some of them, like the angels, were like, no, we don't want to do that. How about we have our own place and we have fun that way instead? So that's the Devas. Every Deva has a spiritual connection with an animal type, and it usually shows in their appearance. Most of them are almost exactly human with just a hint of animal bonds, such as different shaped teeth, beast-like eyes, or nearly inconceivable minor traits. But yeah, typically they will have a spirit animal that they're bonded with, and they will have some kind of feature that represents that animal. The third that we have are the Leviathans. The Leviathans are the powerful beasts of destruction that were supposed to be like the final, like they just tear the world apart. They're the great dragons of the apocalypse. But some of them woke up in their larva human forms, and they decided that they didn't want to destroy the world and that being human was kind of fun. So they wanted to try living out a full life the way that they wanted to live it. So that's the Leviathans. The Leviathans are described as they look human, but there's always an unfamiliar and malicious aura around them, as if there's an ancient predatory beast inside them that we're struggling to break free. Though they don't have to, most Leviathans take pride in their heritage and choose to show off their draconic horns. They range in shapes, colors, and sizes. Some royals will decorate them with exotic jewelry and bright, fancy things like that. So that's the Leviathans. They're basically dragons in human form. The last of the ancestries or the origins are the Infernals. And the Infernals are basically demons. These are beings that were kept down in hell. They were tortured. And when the apocalypse happened, the defenses of hell dropped and they took advantage of it and they escaped. And then they were saying, you know what? We don't want to go back to hell and be tortured again. So how about we just help everything that's going on here instead, and we'll help you guys do these domains. So those are the Infernals. They look the most like humans of any of the Defiant. The only thing that's really different about them is they have kind of a hellish aura that only Defiant can sense. And then sometimes when they're hurt or feeling really strong emotions, their scars from their torture in hell will manifest. And they're usually in this form of these ritualistic symbols or intricate tattoos or things like that. Pretty terrifying looking. It's never like a happy sight to see their scars manifest. And those are the origins of Defiant. Kind of the hierarchy of this is you have the Sephra, the Hierophant, the Archons, the Executors, the royalty, and then you have other Defiant that aren't royals that are serving in your courts. And then there are also mortals and humans around here. But there is a powerful spell that's fueled by the Sephra called the Carnival. And the Carnival basically puts an illusion over everybody's eyes that is not a Defiant. They don't know that there's a mass destruction apocalypse happening outside the domains. To them, everything just looks totally normal. Yeah, we've got this royalty that rules over us and makes the rules, and that's fine. Everything's happy. There's no reason to be worried or concerned. And that's where we live. So with that, let's jump into the character creation and let's dish out some cards, and we will have you guys pick your origins. So I'm going to dish out 3 cards to each of you guys. You guys are going to only pick one of these, and then we're going to kind of go over them a little bit for the ones that you guys pick. I'm not going to go over every single card that I deal you out, so I'm just going to give you the names. We'll give you guys a couple minutes to look over them, and then we'll talk about the ones you guys chose. There's a lot of decisions to make for the character creation. Some of them require a bit more thought. So as we go through these, if you guys don't feel ready to talk about it and you want to think on it a little bit more, you can just say, I'll pass. And then you can go ahead and do that off stream before next session. But if anybody's feeling like a lot of inspiration and you kind of know where you're going for it, tell us about it and we'll talk about the character creation. So Katie, we'll start with you. Your 3 cards are the Pure, which is an angel, the Primordial, which is a Leviathan. Oh, and for you guys, for you players, these are on the card sheet on page 3. They're like the magenta colored cards that are not the marital cards. Anyway, so Katie, the Pure, the Primordial, and the Divinity. So you have a Deva option, a Leviathan option, and an Angel option. Felicia, you have the Ardent, which is an Angel, the Fate Dealer, which is an Infernal, and the Executioner, which is an Infernal. Bright, you have the Thirst, which is a Deva, the Siren, which is a Leviathan, and you have a special card, which is the Blank card. The Blank card, if you take it, you get to choose any of the origins. But as you can see on these cards, these origins come with some additional traits. On the next step in character creation, we're going to do more general traits that we're going to pick from. Most players get 2. If you take the Blank card, you'll get 3 instead to make up for not having a special thing tied to your origin.
Okay, good to know.
So you guys go ahead and glance over those for a bit, and whenever you guys are ready and you have it picked, raise your hand and we'll start discussing. In the meantime, chat, I will try to read what you guys are doing today. I'm really bad at reading chat when I GM, but
We've been talking about cheese and the CW, so you haven't missed much.
Oh man, that's like my favorite 2 topics. Are you kidding me?
Oh, and you're daddy now, so.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean,
we're just gonna call whoever's game mastering daddy.
That's great. The perfect title.
Well, I already know
All right.
what I'm doing.
You've got it. I figured you did. I could see it in your eyes, Katie. Okay, you got yours ready. Now you guys don't need like all your decisions made because we're gonna do an interview here. We're gonna go over them. So you've got yours picked, Katie.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
You know, I'm gonna go with the divinity and be a Deva.
Yeah, I knew it.
Mm-hmm.
Your tag is literally Winchester Deva. I'd be disappointed in you if it wasn't.
Literally Winchester Deva.
All right, let's read about this a little bit, Katie, and we'll talk about your decisions.
Do you want me to read it?
Oh yeah, please do. I'm so sick of reading.
Because, you know, I learned specifically for this stream how to read.
Oh, good. Yeah,
Just
please show off your new skills.
Good. Okay, so the divinity, Deva, says you're a true god worshipped by mortals and revered by lowborn. The traits here are, and I have to choose one from each of these, god of phenomenon, emotion, concept, place, evokes joy, humility, lust, or fury, is portrayed as just, beautiful, cunning, or fierce.
Okay. Do you know which of those you're going to go with?
Let's see. I think I'm going to be god of emotion.
God of emotion. Nice.
I'm going to evoke fury.
Oh.
And
Okay.
I'm going to be portrayed as fierce.
Awesome. And for you players, there's a character sheet for every origin that should be in our hub of sheets. So if you guys want to start looking at that character sheet, you can, I don't think they're fillable, but you can print it, you can take notes alongside it. But that's the character sheet you're going to use once you have your origin decided. Okay, that sounds awesome, Katie. Let's talk about your questions.
Okay, so the questions.
Let me talk about really quick. So questions are a thing. These are a ability in the game. You can ask questions of the game master, and the questions have to be responded in an absolute. So this is basically going to form your abilities in the game. You're going to spend a resource to ask a question. GM has to answer it in your favor in an absolute if possible. So, sorry, continue.
I will not. All right, the questions that I have are, how do the mortals and lowborn show their devotion to me here? What is there to know about this mortal or lowborn? And how do they rely on mortals or lowborn?
So those are pretty much just abilities for you. You get to ask those, and the GM will answer those questions narratively benefiting you, basically. All right, tell us about your special rules that you get for this.
My special rules are, if I want to permanently change the beliefs, norms, and rules of a small mortal community, club, group, etc., I take a single challenge to do so.
Challenges are interesting. Challenges are basically something that you take on as a task, and you mark off tallies to try to complete it. If bad things happen, sometimes it'll set back your challenges, and if you do things well, it'll progress your challenges, and they're going to be what's kind of going to progress and advance your character.
And then,
Continue.
The second one is spend a shard to pass a challenge against mortals as if you rolled 4 successes, or to pass a challenge against a lowborn as if you rolled 3 successes.
Awesome. So you just like really rule over the inferior societies.
Naturally.
Which is pretty neat. All right. Katie is the divinity Deva. Felicia, do you have yours ready yet? What are you going to be?
I'm going to go with the Ardent.
The Ardent, and that is an
Yes.
angel.
Angel. Yes, I'm
Tell
getting
us
my angel page out here.
Nice. Let's talk about the Ardent. Tell us about it.
So the Ardent says you have a special connection to Saphira and you understand its needs better than anyone. And so I've looked over the traits and I'm kind of just going to go with my gut here because I'm not 100% sure. I've never played this game before. So for the appearance, I think I'm going to go with righteous. I had the option of righteous, tempting, unobtrusive, or threatening. For the merit, I have the option for resilient, persuasive, stealthy, or creative. So I think I'll go with persuasive. And then for insight, it's urges, emotions, transgressions, or needs. So probably transgressions feels right based on like, it feels like this is kind of going in like a control it, like, I don't know, like a
bit
righteous
of-
direction. And
Yeah, I
that-
like that. Yeah, so like you sense transgressions against the Sephira because you're kind of all
Yeah.
about that. That's
Yeah.
good. And traits, I guess I haven't talked about traits. Basically, when you roll dice in this game, you're forming a dice pool to try to get successes. I believe off the top of my head, it's 4 through 6. It might only be 5s and 6s. I don't know. But basically, you're going to be upgrading your dice pool for every applicable trait to the situation. So if you can tell the game master that this trait should apply to the situation, you add another dice to your pool. And they start at D6s. And then I think once you have 3 of them already, then they start upgrading to D8s and they increase in size. So that's how those work.
Okay.
All right, let's talk about your questions.
All right. So the question is, and it's Sephira, or how am I saying that wrong?
I think Sephira is right. Yeah.
Sephira. Okay. What does the Sephira need me to do here? Who here struggles with or disrespects the commandment? How does the commandment additionally affect this event?
Very nice.
Yeah.
And then tell us about your special rules.
All right. So the first one, whenever you regenerate shards, the penance is always connected to the commandment. When you fulfill your penance, all of your afflictions become 1 level less severe. And then the other one is spend a shard to fill the nearby Defiant with the need to prove themselves true followers of the commandment.
Awesome. Yeah, so basically, shards are a resource you're going to have to spend. They're very powerful. They can increase dice rolls. You can spend them for certain abilities. And to gain them back, every one of the origins has their own unique ritual. The penance is the angels. We'll probably talk more about that if we get there. We may not even get to recharging shards in the session, so we'll probably just glance over that until we get there. But that's basically what that means. So very cool. And then afflictions, that's pretty good. That means when you recharge your shards, you're going to lessen your afflictions, which are bad things that start growing for things that have not gone in your favor.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got the Ardent Angel. Love it. Bright, what one are you going to take?
I have decided to go with the Fate Dealer.
The Fate Dealer. Okay. And that is an Infernal. So go ahead and tell us about the Fate Dealer.
Says here they can use tricks that they've learned in hell to bend fate to your will. I think I've already selected the ones I'm going to go with here. So under traits, I've got tricks. And I'm going to go with deadly.
Deadly tricks. Nice.
Smile, mysterious.
Very good.
And an expert on mortals.
Love it. I just love when you're going to be able to argue with the GM. Give me an extra dice for my mysterious smile. Awesome. Tell us about your questions.
All right. What games are played here? What have I just gained through sheer luck? And who here is feeling lucky tonight? I like the way those are worded.
That's some awesome questions.
I feel like there's a lot of like what I have gained through sheer luck leaves me a lot of wiggle room for bullshit, and I love
oh
that.
yeah, totally. This looks like the bullshit like origin right here. I love it.
Yeah. That's why I read that one. I was like, this looks interesting. There's cards. It's got to be full of shit. Oh, it's definitely full of shit. This is wonderful.
Excellent. Yeah, tell us about your special rules.
When you make a bet with someone, make a challenge to bend fate in your favor. And then spend a shard to change one rule or stakes of the game you are playing.
That's so cool. I love that.
So much bullshit in this character. They should just call it the shit dealer. This is so good.
Yeah, that's awesome. Very good. Very good. Oh, and yeah, in case we didn't mention, so this game, for any of those who watch like our D&D or our Pathfinder, are more lighthearted things. This is a bit more of an adult system, so it'll probably be a bit more mature than some of our games we play. Not like cult levels of mature, but it'll be a little more mature than our average stream, just for anybody who's watching who's concerned about that. All right, awesome. So we have our origins set. We have a nice spread of an angel, an infernal, and a deva. I love it. No dragon love for the infernals today, but that's okay. All right. So nobody took the blank card. So the next step that we're going to do is we are going to choose our personal themes These are basically like archetypes that can apply to any origin. And I am going to deal you each out 4 of them, and you guys are going to pick 2. So I'm going to shuffle these up. These are going to basically extend your special abilities, your questions, your special rules, things like that. And let's start with Bright this time. Bright, you have the Warrior, you have the Wealth, you have the Aegis, and you have the Power Play. Felicia, you have the Weaver, the Socialite, the Prodigy, and the Goliath. Katie, you have the Ars Armandi, the Gem, the Shadow, and the Guide. So go ahead, browse those over, and let me know with a raise of hand or a verbal confirmation when you are ready to discuss those. Toby thinks Katie's taking the Shadow. There's a bet out there on that, Katie. Don't be stubborn and not take it because they called it, but I'm just letting you know.
Why do you call me out in the way that you do?
Well, it just felt appropriate for the time.
It's really rude. I'm reading.
I'm drinking Diet Baja Blast, chat, and it's a lot of you probably think it's
not sponsored.
Horrible. Not sponsored. Not a sponsor, just a beverage. I think it's pretty okay for a diet drink.
You know what's better than Diet Baja Blast?
Baja Blast?
Regular Mountain Dew.
Yes,
also not sponsored.
Also true. Yeah. All right.
I'm struggling with this one. There's 2 that I can't.
Well, you do get to pick 2. So if you like 2 of them, you could take both.
Fuck yeah. Sweet. I'm done then.
Okay, you got yours. Let's talk then, right? What's the first one that you're picking?
The Aegis.
The Aegis. Okay. Let's talk about the Aegis. Aegis. How do you say this word?
It's Aegis.
Okay, Aegis. Very good. Tell us about the Aegis.
All right. Through supernatural powers, you are close to being invulnerable.
Seems good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's going to be great. All right. Resistant 2. Oh, I haven't selected.
You're about to do it right now on the fly. His options here are
pain, arcane, impact, or intoxication, and a lot of that is just so good. I'm gonna go with intoxication.
That seems to fit your first theme pretty well. Good.
Yeah.
All right. What are you unmoved by?
Unmoved by. Ooh, it's either emotions, intimidation, charm, or shame. Unmoved by emotions is good, but shame is better.
I don't like shame.
I mean, shame, luck. You're unaffected by the shame.
I mean, how does that work? Am I unmoved? Am I like personally and emotionally unmoved by what these are, or is this up to interpretation a little bit?
I think it's you personally are unmoved by. It's like if you are unmoved by shame, like you have no shame. Shame doesn't affect you. People can't influence you through shame.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna go with shame then. I feel like emotions is too broad a stroke, and there are definitely some things this character that's forming in my head will be.
Awesome. Very good. And what is your presence like?
Flawless, tough, trustworthy, or inscrutable? I'm gonna go with inscrutable.
Awesome. Very good.
Person who makes a lot of bets and is hard to read.
That's great. Yeah, tell us about our questions. You get all 3 of these.
Questions. Whoops. What am I the only one Wow, this is weird. What am I the only one resistant to here? What breach is there in their defenses, and who here needs protection?
Man, that's a pretty good question. Like, imagine if you're the only one resistant to fireball in here. Just blow everybody else up. Very good. And tell us about your special rules.
Special rules: you can take all damage someone is about to receive. Take a challenge if you want to lower the severity of the received affliction, and spend a shard to change an affliction to a lesser one, or merge up to 3 afflictions in one of the same severity, and you can rename it.
That's pretty interesting. So you get to like meld your afflictions together into one super affliction.
Yeah, that one's pretty dope.
Okay, and then you have a trouble. So troubles are interesting, and we haven't talked about them yet. And we should actually probably go back and let's talk about your trouble for Fate Dealer. I forgot to mention those. So troubles are things that are working against you, and certain mechanics in the game are going to further your trouble track. And it goes on a scale from 1 to 5. And basically, you have to deal with your troubles at some point, and you can choose to trigger your trouble. You do a scene at a time of your choosing if you want, and you're going to have to deal with it. The higher it is, the harder it's going to be to deal with. If you let your trouble reach 5, then it triggers automatically. The GM gets full control over how your trouble manifests, and it's going to be worse. So you're going to be juggling those throughout the game. So tell us about your trouble with the Fate Dealer first.
Okay, let's go back to Fate Dealer. Trouble gets to 5. Don't Taylor Swift or Daddy Takes Over. Got it. Where's the Fate Dealer? Oh, the trouble is you need to pay the price for Fate's favor.
Awesome. So that's open interpretation for you, or if you let it get to 5, then the GM gets to interpret it. And then what's your trouble for Aegis?
For the Aegis, someone has breached your defenses.
Awesome. Very good. So you're going to add both of those troubles on your sheet. They're both going to have their own tracks. And let's go ahead then. We've got the Aegis for you. Thanks, Bright. Let's go to somebody else's first, and then we'll loop back to your second.
Cool.
Felicia, do you have one of yours chosen?
Yeah, I picked both of mine.
Awesome. Let's go with one for now, and then we'll loop back.
As is standard for myself personally, I will be choosing Goliath.
Nice. I love it. Let's talk about the Goliath.
All right. So the Goliath, it says, your might is unsurpassed and nothing can withstand your crushing blows.
You're going to be really scary in charge person.
Yes, because that's just me. It's
I
like
love
you drew cards that were Felicia.
Let's talk about your traits.
Yeah. So the first one is for built. My options are strong, godlike, inconspicuous, or imposing. And I think godlike is obvious choice here. So
yeah, that's pretty fitting.
Yeah.
You are a god. You are built like a god.
Exactly. And then unsurpassed is the next one. So energy, might, stamina, or grit. I think that I'm going to go with stamina for this one.
Very good.
Gotta be able to back up my what I got going on.
Oh yeah, love it.
I radiate either confidence, dominance, ruthlessness, or potency, and I'm gonna go with. Oh, it's such a hard decision. I want to go with ruthlessness because like that just seems like really, but
scary.
But I think that I'm already so overbearing that I think we're just gonna go with like confidence because I don't want to be too awful.
A ruthless, in charge person would be pretty scary.
It's like a limit to the awful. I understand.
Yeah.
Can't go full like lawful evil here,
I know.
Okay, so that's radiating confidence. Awesome. Tell us about your questions.
All right. So who here is impressed by me? Who here fears me? And how can I destroy it? Simple questions.
Cool. Love it. Right to the point. And what about your special rules?
All right. So the first one, you can lift trucks, throw cars, and punch holes through concrete without a need for a challenge. And the second one is spend a shard during strength or destruction challenges to change them from impossible to possible.
So you can just really push the limits.
Yes.
Love it. What's your trouble with the Goliath?
You destroy something of great value, which is a natural consequence of just being badass.
Yeah, obviously. And then what was your, since we missed it the first time, what's the trouble with the Ardent?
The ardent trouble is problematic orders from the Sephira.
Ah, that's an interesting one. That's kind of fun. Very cool. All right, so we've got the Goliath for you. Katie, let's talk about your first one.
Okay, I would like to clarify that I'm not doing this to be stubborn. My first pick is going to be the Ars Amandi.
Okay. Let's talk about this one, Katie.
Let's talk about this one.
This is one of the more mature themes, so let's discuss.
The description is you are unsurpassed master in the art of lovemaking.
Wonderful. Who doesn't want that?
Who doesn't, right? Unsurpassed.
Let's talk about your traits.
All right. So I can specialize in gender, origin, group, or kink. I am going to specialize in origin.
Very good. And now for this one, you have to tell us what that origin is. This one requires clarification.
Oh, I have to pick an origin. I can't just be a jack of all origins.
Nope, not a jack of all origins. You got to pick one.
That's rude, but I want all of them.
That would be group. There is a group option in there. Would
that be group all origins? I interpreted that as something different.
I guess it is slightly different.
Slightly?
But,
yeah. Odin says kink. I'm gonna go.
A lot of origin stories in kink. I'm just saying.
Very true.
The comments happening right now. I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna pick infernal.
Okay, you specialize in infernals. What is your approach?
Let's see. So, my approach is going to be direct.
Okay. So you have a direct approach, and what is your body like?
My body is, let's see, so I'm fierce and nimble.
Iconic's not an option.
Iconic is...
Iconic body.
Flawless is, I guess that's pretty close.
Yeah, so we've got flawless, athletic, alluring, and nimble. You're going with nimble?
Yeah, I'm going to go with nimble.
Seems to fit a Deva well.
Yeah.
I like it. Tell us about your questions.
Okay, my questions are, what do they enjoy in bed? Who here is desperate for true fulfillment? What type of debauchery is this party going to turn into?
That is just a fun one to just really change the scene.
Yes. that's I love it.
Awesome. What about your special rules?
They are, after you have sex with someone, you can ask them one question. They know you know. And they know you know. Spend a shard to make the thing you just did in bed your partner's new favorite pleasure.
Powerful shard ability. And what about your trouble for Ars Armandi?
It is a forsaken lover or an envious rival attacks you. Fair,
Wow, okay.
Fair enough.
Can that just be me? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, I don't think you want her attacking you.
I will die. And my divinity trouble is another divinity rises against me.
Awesome. Love it. Okay, let's go back to Bright. Bright, what is your second one that you're choosing here?
The wealth.
The wealth. Tell us about the wealth.
You have unlimited resources on hand, and you can easily have anything money can buy.
Man, your character just sounds so classy. All right.
I'm building a casino owner here.
A good friend to have.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. What did I pick again? Traits. Knows how to bribe.
Ooh. What about
and
your
for a moment,
assets?
I'm just going to skip assets for 1 second.
Okay.
I'm go straight to goods. The goods are supernatural.
Supernatural goods.
Now, I'm struggling real hard with assets. So I thought it'd be cool that I don't choose it. I'm going to let chat pick mine for me.
Okay, go ahead and tell chat their choices. Chat, you're going to help them pick.
Chat, I need to know what my assets are. Is it a fortune, corporation, a priceless collection, or a crime syndicate?
Ooh, good options. Okay, chat, start throwing out what you guys think you want him to pick, and then let's talk about your questions while they respond.
Got one for corporation.
We got absolutely corporation. I choose Annabelle the goat. Sadly, not on the list. That would be great. Oh man, I did throw Annabelle into the last session though that we did this. She was the owner of the Gothic open air terrace, or GOAT for short, and Annabelle was the owner.
I'm seeing a couple here for Crime Syndicate. We might have to go with Crime Syndicate.
Crime Syndicate's pretty neat.
Yeah, someone else said corporation. I feel Crime Syndicate and corporation are pretty much the same thing. So we're gonna run it like a corporation.
Okay, Crime Syndicate.
So we're gonna do them
like
all.
A corporation. Love it. Very good. All right, let's talk about your questions.
My questions: how can they be bought? How can I outshine them through my wealth? And how does this profit from my wealth?
All good questions. What about your?
I mentioned I'm wealthy. Every time you advance in an endeavor, if using your wealth could help, mark an additional step.
And the endeavors are big, long-term challenges. They're like gonna span over multiple sessions typically.
Okay, interesting. The other one is name anything from the mortal world that money can buy. You will get it by the end of the episode. If you need it right now, spend a shard to get it instantly.
That's pretty cool.
Fucking cool.
And then what about your trouble?
You are in imminent danger because of your wealth.
Seems fair. Seems to check out. All right, so we've got the Fate Dealer with the Aegis and the Wealth. So that is it for your personal themes and your origin themes. That's great. I'm gonna put these ones aside. All right, and Katie, what's your second one? Oh, we went Felicia second, right? No, Felicia, you're up next.
I'm good either way.
Get out of here, Katie. It's Felicia's turn.
Yeah, Katie, leave. I mean, you can stay. Just wait your turn. I'm gonna choose the Prodigy. If I can find it again, maybe I can.
Very
Right
good.
there.
Awesome.
Okay.
Tell us about the Prodigy.
Your mentor has chosen you and elevated you to power. They still support you, but also make demands. Sounds
Very
about right.
good. Uh-huh.
So the traits, I was picked for either my charm, strong will, ruthlessness, or insight. And I really don't want to be ruthless because I'm already an asshole.
It really wants you to be ruthless,
So,
apparently.
I know. I think strong will is probably, it fits really well. I'm probably not very charming.
Asshole, but
yeah. So I'll write down strong will.
Awesome.
I don't want to forget because I am likely to. And then my mentor, the options are enthralled, sympathetic, adored, or feared. So this is like my mentor is this type of thing, right?
Yeah.
I'm understanding that correctly.
Kind of like what your mentor was known for, I think, or is
okay.
known for.
I think that probably feared is like, I can see that being something I would look up to.
Awesome. Very good. I like it. And
I hope you guys all just saw Toby come down in his pineapple shorts because that was the best thing
we
I've
definitely
seen.
saw Toby's pineapple shorts.
Um,
And what is your training all about?
Martial, politics, occult, or governing. I have to go martial, so that's makes the most sense.
Wait, is it martial or is it? It is martial. I heard
Martial.
that was marital at first.
It's cool.
That makes more sense. Okay.
I mean,
martial
I
training.
could be like a counselor, and I don't know.
Right.
I will beat you into dust if you don't figure this shit out.
Seems more appropriate.
Dear God.
All right, tell us about your questions with this one.
All right, so the first one is, who here wants to be on my good side? That's going to be a great one.
Mm-hmm.
What would my mentor advise me to do here? What an interesting insight about them has my mentor shared?
Ooh, I like it. Very good.
Yeah.
Okay, and what about your special rules?
Okay, first one, whenever you ask your mentor for advice, gain a +1 potential when you act on it. If you act against it, gain a minor affliction.
And potential is your dice pool, just so you guys know.
Okay. The second one is you may spend a shard to mark 3 progress boxes in an endeavor. However, your mentor will somehow influence the endeavor.
Wow, that is pretty good. Okay, what about your trouble?
Your mentor steps in with demands.
Okay. Interesting indeed. I love it. The Ardent Goliath Prodigy is yours. Putting the other one of these aside. All right, Katie, what is your last one?
Well, Arzamandi and the gem go really well together.
That is very true.
But I am going to go with the shadow. Toby was right.
Oh, they called it. Okay.
So the shadow is everybody has secrets. You're an expert at learning and using them for your benefit. So the traits. Impression, I have unobtrusive, naive, attractive, trustworthy. I'm going with trustworthy.
Good.
Talents are senses, stealth, searching, evasion. I'm going with senses.
Oh, talent in the sense is good.
And then specialty is scandals, blackmail, investigation, impersonation. I'm going with blackmail. Because of course, you know.
I see where this is going paired with the Arzamandi.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And let's talk about your questions.
My questions are, what are they trying to hide? What here is not what it seems? And who here has a secret that I happen to know?
Awesome.
Happen.
Very good. Very good. And what about your special rules?
My special rules, you can't be registered by any camera, alarm, or other electronic or mystical devices unless you choose to. And I can spend a shard to eavesdrop on any conversation happening in sight.
Wow, your special just like you can just not be seen by cameras with no shard or anything.
Yeah.
That is pretty good.
Just,
Cool.
I'm not. And then
trouble.
my trouble is one of my secrets haunts me.
Ooh, that's a fun one. All right, we have got the divinity Arzamandi Shadow. So that is it for personal themes. So now the houses are next, and these ones are your choice. We don't draw for these ones. You have to pick a house that matches your origins. Now I can go over these kind of while you guys are browsing through them. They're on the cards if you guys want like a brief overview of them. But if you guys want more information of them, they start on page 66 of the rulebook. It kind of clarifies what some of their overhead stuff talks about on the cards. So I would recommend like take a look at the cards. If one catches your interest, you can look a little bit more into it. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to remove the Leviathan houses because we are not having any Leviathans up in here for this one. And then I will just talk about a few of these while you guys are browsing through on your own. Also, I apologize for my sniffling chat. My allergies are awful. Okay, so we have a Deva in the house. So the options that Katie has to pick from. I feel like I must have missed one. There it is. Is there 3 options each, it appears? Yeah, okay. So her options are the House Acto, which is the Aslan Deva. Their creed is claim your due. Defiant House of Achto believes actions speak louder than words. They never trust someone without a sacrifice. Ultimate proof of true intentions to honor their ancestors' ultimate sacrifice. They feel obligated to live their lives to the fullest. Their custom are Lords of Night and Day, which is got its whole big description we're not going to get into. That's just like kind of a phrase to describe their custom. Examples, spirit animals for them are jaguar, tarantula, rattlesnake, carcara, eagle, river dolphin, or coyote. And it's got a list of example names. We have the House Curios. Their creed is prove your worth. Curios are known to be ambitious, competitive, and determined to prove their worth as their creed demands. They scheme and show off their virtues, always finding new ways to outshine or outsmart other Curios and impress the head of the house. I think I'm just going to go over the creed and the overview for these because the other ones are going to be more in depth if they're picked. Last one is House Sec. These are the these words are killing me. Kamechian Deva. Their creed is leave your mark. Deva of House Sec are great builders, visionaries, and architects bent on leaving their mark on the world and inspiring awe in everyone that admires their creations. Although their lives are exciting as those as other Defiant, they are more distant and focused on greater things. Are any of those calling to you, Katie? Which one are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with House Acto because I am fierce.
House Acto, claim your due. Okay, gonna get rid of those. We don't have to go too much into the houses this session. That'll be more, you can deep read on it before next session. You are the divinity. Okay, so for the infernals, it's going to be Bright. You are the infernal, yes? Yes, okay. So you have House Joy. Their creed is rejoice. While other infernals tend to reminisce about their demonic legacy and horrors of hell, House Joy has taken a different approach. Rather than dwell in the past, these infernals of guilt are focused on making up for the lost time. They revel in exciting experience and pleasures the Defiant world has to offer. Sorry. Now, infernals all have a grim craft, which is something that they can like heavily influence. Theirs is guilt. We've got House Black. Their creed is be human. Renowned for their demonic cruelty, members of the House Black renounce their old ways and now try to live the lives they choose rather than continue on the path that was chosen for them by their overlords of hell. They assumed a corporate-like style of leadership and aim to rediscover life beyond pain and suffering. Their grim craft is pain. Last one for Infernals is House Dawn, Infernals of Shame. Their creed is uphold our legacy, the descendants of the first mortals to ever be sentenced to live in hell, who eventually became demons themselves. Now the proud Infernals of Shame came back to the mortal world to reclaim all that has been taken from them. To be devoted members of the house is to always strive for more, improve one's standing, and accumulate power. Which one of these are you going with, Bright?
Oh, we're going with House Joy.
House Joy. Awesome. Rejoice. Okay, that goes. You are the fate dealer. Putting the rest aside. For the angel houses, we have House Aratron, the Angels of Mercy. Their creed is there can be no mercy without atonement. Aratronites see themselves as the conscience of the Defiant, reminding them of their trespasses and offering mercy to those who are willing to repent. Some of them are cruel and strict, some are caring and kind, but they all believe forgiveness has to be earned. Now, angels have a dark calling, and their dark calling is basically when they go into their dark angelic form. Theirs is Angel of Pain, Fury, Dread, Envy, or Shadows. So they are the Angels of Mercy, but they also have their dark as well. And that's the ones they pick from there. We have House Heriel, which are Angels of Passion. Their creed is you shall not dim the flames of your passion. While all Defiant enjoy aspects of life, Heralites take it to another level. They always find a new way to find their passion and constantly seek unique and exciting experiences, moving on once they become bored. Their dark calling options are anguish, deception, doubt, fear, and slumber. And then we have House Zuriel, which are Angels of Glory. Their creed is be a testament to your house's glory. House Zuriel is one of the most respected and looked upon as they strive for greatness and glory in everything they do. Aristocratic and entitled in behavior, Zurielites believe in leading by example and always choosing their noble righteous path. Their dark callings are blood, sorrow, trickery, lust, and ruin. So, Felicia, which one of these are you going with?
I think I want to pick option 3, Daddy. Thank you.
Option 3, Daddy, which is House Zuriel. And what's your dark calling going to be? Which one of these do you like?
I really like, that's hard.
It is tough.
Probably ruin. I'm going with between like blood and ruin.
Uh-huh.
I think ruin probably, because I don't think I want to like murder everyone.
Ruin your goddamn Goliath.
Yeah.
That's true. You do seem like you have potential to ruin things. All right.
We'll go with ruin then. Final
All right.
answer.
The creed is be a testament to your house's glory. That goes with the ardent. Okay, we've got your houses sorted out. Done with that, putting the rest aside. Now, next is the marital cards. So now keep in mind as we go through marital cards that your Principessa is demanded that it is looked down upon to have just a single partner. Just loving your spouse and being true to your spouse is kind of frowned upon in your current province. So you are going to be married because it's tradition, and you will have your own relationships with your spouse. You might love them. It might just be for show, but you're probably getting around if you're obeying the Principessa's orders. So let's draw these, and we are doing 3 each, and you're choosing 1. And there's the marital cards. Let me shuffle them up here. We haven't started with you yet, Felicia, so I'll give you the first ones to draw here.
Sounds good.
All right. You've got shared legacy, political union, power struggle. Those are your 3. Katie, you've got best friends, perfect companion, ? And newlywed. And Bright, you've got influential lover, voice of heart, and eager admirer. So go ahead, take a look at those, and let me know when you are ready to discuss and have one picked.
Which cheat sheet is this?
This is the marital cards. I believe it's the very first page.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, this game is pretty neat. It's very narrative. I'll just talk a little bit more about the system when you guys are looking over those. There's just like a lot of stories you can tell in this universe. It kind of ranges from a lot of social and political intrigue. Your characters develop their own goals. Maybe you want to be an executor. Maybe you want to try to absorb other courts, things like that. And then there is kind of the standard action. Sometimes agents of the apocalypse will slip into the domain through its cracks. You've got things ranging from small little like shapeshifters that can infiltrate the mortals all the way up to like the horsemen of the apocalypse can be some of the bigger threats. It's super cool. It's just like a really good narrative storytelling game in this kind of angels and demons and devas and dragons type world. To me, it's got like a really supernatural vibe to it. I love it. It's super cool. Anybody got one that's just calling to him yet?
I think I'm gonna go with voice of heart.
Voice of heart. All right, let's start with you then, Bright. Tell us about voice of heart.
You went against your better judgment and the advice of the house and got married to a person you really like, a friend, or maybe even your one true love.
Sounds like this could be a bit complicated with Principessa's orders. Okay. So I guess let's talk about this first. Do you have pronouns in your head for yourself yet? By yourself, I mean your character.
Oh, for the character. Yeah. They, them for the character.
Okay. And what about for your spouse?
She, they.
She, they. Okay. And do you have an origin in mind for your spouse, which is Deva, Leviathan, etc.?
Angel.
Okay, got an angel for your spouse. And from the houses we discussed, are they from the same house as you or a different house? Well, I guess they won't be the same house because they're an angel. They gotta
be different, yeah.
And for this, you have an option to pick, or if you want, I can randomize it for these.
I'm actually probably gonna go with the pure. They're from, or that. This is a house. Hold on.
Yeah. So
I'm
that
a foolish fool.
No, you're good. It's Hariel, the Angels of Passion, Zuriel, the House of Glory, or Aratron, the Angels of Mercy.
We're gonna go with probably Hariel. The only one that works.
Awesome. Love it. Very good. And then now these are the marital stuff is where it gets like really in-depth with crafting. So I think we're probably going to let you guys spend some more time on this between sessions. So you're going to be writing down 3 things that are great about your relationship. I don't think we'll go over all these on stream. We'll let you guys just kind of let that marinate and talk about it off stream. For the spousal archetype, we will do the same thing, but let me explain archetypes. An archetype is basically going to be anything of your own crafting, but it's going to be 2 words that kind of coincide with each other. It can be like grumpy guard, diplomatic aristocrat, things like that. 2 words that you can put together to make an archetype. And when your spouse is assisting you, they'll add 1 or 2 potential based on if either of those come into play. Does that make sense? That one throws people quite often. And yeah, so it's wide open. You pick 2 descriptors that coincide to be an archetype for your spouse. And then you have to pick a court affliction. It's a major affliction, and you get to choose which one it is. So that means when there are things that come down to your court, this is going to lower your potential. And it's either envious, disappointed, or bad chemistry. So this is your spouse disaffliction. So are people envious of your spouse? Are they disappointed in your spouse? Or does your court have bad chemistry with your spouse?
It's probably bad chemistry.
So you love your spouse very much, but your court not so much.
Yeah, it's Infernals and Angels. It's head buddy.
I like it. Very good. So yeah, so between the stream, think of an archetype and write down 3 things that are great about your relationship. You can do that while we're going over with other people or just after the stream. You're a part of House Joy. That one there for you. Good stuff. Okay, Felicia, have you picked yours yet, or do you need a bit more time?
I need a little bit more time. I'll see if I'm good after, if Katie's ready to go right now. Not ready yet. I'm kind of stuck between, because my brain is like wanting to like get the better option, but then my role-playing side is like, but this would be a really cool thing to explore.
Oh, I would always trust your role-playing side.
Yeah. Okay, well then I'm gonna go. Okay, it's between shared legacy and power struggle, then probably power struggle, because I think that's gonna be the most exciting thing to explore as a character.
That sounds quite interesting, just with a glimpse of what you've got going with your character.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Let's talk about power struggle.
All right, so the descriptor is your spouse may be only a consort, but they want their share of power. They can be a great ally, a capable guide, or a bitter opponent, depending on your attitude.
That sounds very interesting.
Setting myself up for a hard time.
Love it. Now, do you have your pronouns decided yet for your character?
I think she, her, and then also she, her for a spouse. So
very cool. That's awesome. What about their origin?
I don't know. I didn't get that far.
Yeah, no, that's
where
totally
are they?
Okay. So the origins are like Deva, Angel, Infernal.
I see. It's the
Leviathan.
main ones.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think that it really matters.
Did you want me to randomize it for you?
Yeah, randomize it, or if chat wants to pick, that's fine too.
Chat, is Felicia's character going to be married to a Leviathan, an Infernal, an Angel, or a Deva? Give us something. I'm going to go with the first one I see pop up.
Be quick.
Click on the draw. And if nobody draws, then
we can randomize. It's cool.
I'm going to start randomizing just in case.
Okay. Fine by me.
Okay, immortal with bad gas.
Right.
Nope, Bright.
You can't choose.
I'm gonna X that.
Leviathan. Thank
Leviathan.
You, Cam.
There we go. We got it. Leviathan. Yeah, we don't have one of those. Let's have you be married to one.
I like
so
it.
a she, her, Leviathan, and I'm just going to randomize your house for you. They're going to be from
That works.
House Shamesh, the fire Leviathan.
Awesome.
I'm in a relationship with the moon.
Okay.
Very good. Okay, so we got your origin, we got the house. Now this you can do off stream and take some time to think about it, but you're going to write down one thing they control about your court. You're going to write down one thing that you admire about them, and you're going to decide on the boundary they would never cross in their struggle for dominance. So those are things you're going to be talking about. Now, your spouse has an exceptional archetype, which means that you get extra bonuses from their archetype if you get to use it. And this is still the same way as we talked about with Brights, picking 2 descriptors: fierce warrior, powerful ally, things like that. Just 2 words that could go together, and it's just going to be considered exceptional, which means it's extra potential when we determine your dice pool.
Perfect.
Now you have a court affliction that's just set. You don't get to choose what it is, and that is going to be divided loyalty, which pretty much means that your court has divided loyalty between you and your spouse. And then you also have a starting standing, and this is basically your relationship with your spouse. Bright, we missed this for you. Your starting standing is 0, which is quite low. That means that your spouse isn't like super instantly in love with you yet, even if you are with them. Yours is 3, Felicia.
It's a green card marriage.
And got power struggle for yours. All right, Katie, you have yours figured out yet?
No, I'm gonna have chat choose. It's newlywed, perfect companion, or best friend. Because
it's important to know there's a question mark after
there
a perfect companion.
is a question mark. Toby has picked
Newlywed.
Okay, we're going.
Okay. Tell us about newlywed, Katie.
Okay, so newlywed is you've married only recently, and quite frankly, you know very little about your spouse. They were chosen for you, and you accepted your fate.
Okay. Do you know your character's pronouns yet?
Yes, she, her.
She, her. And what will the pronouns of your spouse be?
They will be he, him.
He, him. And do you know what origin you want them to be?
Yes, I'm gonna go with infernal on the origin because I specialize in infernal.
Checks out.
So they, at least the chosen for me was in my specialty.
Yeah, I like that. Now, do you want to pick the house, or you want me to randomize it?
I am actually going. Where are they? There they are. I was thinking House Dawn.
Infernals of Shame.
Yes.
Very good. Okay, that's all sorted out. So, interesting. So, between stream, you can think about this, but you're going to write down one good thing you've learned about your spouse so far in your newlywed marriage. And then the GM will write down 2 bad things you do not know about them yet. So,
GM gets to do work.
Yes. Yep. M's going to have some fun with that.
Oh.
Now, your spouse archetype is regular, so not exceptional like Felicia's, but you still got to pick an archetype, which is 2 descriptor words that go together. Now, you have a court trait, not a affliction, so this will help you. Your court's already in a pretty good standing of high hopes. Your court has high hopes for you guys. And your starting standing is 3. So, Bright's got to do the most work with their spouse. Okay, we have got the marital sorted out. So we're getting close
assume
to
I don't
being
already
done.
have a paper wife.
And we are going to sort out the archetype for your courts. So this is kind of going to be how your court functions. This is going to be another draw 3, choose 1. So shuffle these up. Katie, we're back to starting with you. Your 3 options. These are the court cards. They're blue on your sheets. Indirect rule. By your side. Good intention. Those are your 3. And in case it's not clear, your court is people who serve under you. They're the people that you are royalty for. Felicia, you have penitentiary, which just already sounds really intimidating for your character. Newcomers, civil war. Bright, you've got chain of command, regime change, or absolute devotion. Give you guys a minute to look over those.
What page are they on?
They are on. They're like towards
I found it.
Oh, they're towards the top. Yeah.
2.
So on your card, page 2, when you guys are done looking at stuff, they also have like a cheat sheet for the dice pools. I just found it. I think I mentioned it incorrectly earlier. Looks like you're always rolling 3 dice. So you start with 3d6s as the base roll. And I just don't remember if it's it must be a 5 or 6 that's a success. 4 through 6 seems like too much. I haven't played this in too long, but we'll figure that out before next session. But yeah, basically for every potential you have, which is any trait that you can apply to the dice roll, between all the traits that you have, including like your court traits if they're applicable and whatnot, you upgrade your dice pool by 1. So if your potential is 1, you're rolling 2d6 and 1d8, and they can upgrade all the way up to d10s. And if you guys ever spend a shard on the dice roll, you get just an extra dice that starts at a d8. So the max you can ever roll, if you have a potential of 7 or higher and you use a shard, is you can roll 4 d10s. And it's kind of like this game is one of those systems where typically you're gonna succeed, but with something unexpected, unless you're getting like 4 successes, which are like doing incredible. Okay. Any of you have anything to go with there yet? These ones are a tough decision in my opinion.
Yeah, this is hard.
Yeah, this one's a tough one. Yes, indeed, Drow. We are playing Defiant. This is a post-apocalyptic world where our players are playing angels or demons or dragons or devas, and they have formed their own little chunk of paradise in an apocalyptic world. It's a pretty cool one. They've got a Kickstarter that's going live tomorrow.
For a print version of their game.
Print version of the game. Yes, it's been out for a while, but they're doing a print version, which is really cool because this game is beautiful. Got some awesome art. I'm hoping it's going to include some cards that are just like a physical version of the cards. I printed them out, but it would be cool to see some pretty cards with this.
I hope so.
I haven't linked to the Kickstarter yet.
Are we both ready at the same time?
I think we're both ready now at the same time. We were both
think
not
all
ready
three
at
of
the
us are.
same time, and now we are. It's fine.
All right. Felicia, I don't think we've heard first from you on these yet, so let's have you go first. Which one are you picking here?
I'm going to pick Civil War because that
Civil War.
fits with the whole having a power struggle.
Yeah, you're just setting yourself up for some very good conflict.
Yeah.
All right, tell us about Civil War for your court theme.
All right. It is, while all your courtiers follow your rule, they are divided into 2 factions that absolutely hate one another. New conflicts emerge every day.
It does seem to fit in pretty well with your marital status.
It does.
Okay.
It's pretty perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can, the court has a lot of fluff to figure out. So this is another one we'll probably just have you guys do off stream. But these are examples of archetypes. So when you guys are looking for your spousal archetypes, you can look at these for inspiration. You're going to choose 2 faction leaders. One of them is going to be either a charismatic guru or a ruthless mafioso, ambitious child, strict paladin. So
That's
there's a
me.
whole list there that you can pick from.
I'm just
You're the strict paladin. Yeah. And then you're going to pick 6 or more regular courtiers. So that means you're going to pick 6 people of your court that are notable, and you're going to give them archetypes as well. Now, something interesting about these, you don't have to create these before the session. If you want, you can just start whipping these out on the fly. You can say, oh, I have this courtier here. He is a charming gentleman, something like that. So you can pull them out on the fly. You then just have to note them, and you only have 6 of these that can be floating around.
Can I pick some and then leave a couple open?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
You can think about them ahead of time. You can create some on the fly. You're limited to 6 notable people that you can throw into scenes.
Okay.
God.
And then you have to answer these questions. Again, you can think of these off stream, but your setup is: what is the current issue your courtiers fight over? What are the 2 factions? And these have descriptors like archetypes such as privileged clique or overzealous loyalists. Are you raising your hand, Bright?
No, I'm stretching.
Okay, cool.
I'm a bad
always
sloucher.
raises her hand on stream, so I'm like, do I need to call on you? And then you're gonna name the faction leaders. And like it says here, you can create these now or later. So you can name them on the fly if you want. You can name them in advance. And then you have a court trait, which is going to be a boon for you if it's applicable, which is competitive. And then you have a court affliction, which is a major affliction, which is no good, of conflicted. And then why don't you tell us about your special rule here?
Divide and conquer. So at the beginning of the episode, I can choose one faction. I have to choose one faction and erase an affliction from one courtier from this faction. Give affliction to one courtier from the other faction. So they flop, I guess.
Yeah, very good. And yeah, so it's interesting with courtiers and with NPCs like this that you can utilize. You can call on them to help you with something, and like you can throw them into the scene. If you throw them into a scene, they gain an affliction that you then have to basically like spend time with to fix. So you can call in a favor from them, but they might resent you for it, or maybe they're greedy and they want to call in a favor to make it even. So they'll get an affliction until you spend some downtime fixing it with them. You can also call in your spouse for help in a scene, but you get the affliction instead. So
it's like real life.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So that's how that works with your courtiers. Awesome. So yeah, so read over that, make sure you get the fluff filled out, or you've at least got an idea on how you can maybe throw them into scenes later on. Civil War or the power struggling Goliath Ardent. Okay. Katie, you said you had yours. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna go indirect rule.
Indirect rule. Tell us about it.
Your court is organized in a way that is simple, efficient, and just. At least that's what your trusted advisors tell you. And you rarely talk to other courtiers, so they must be right, right?
Yes, and you're going to be choosing 3 advisors, such as a dutiful enforcer, charismatic steward, confident leader. There's some options there. You're also going to have 6 nameless courtiers, which is interesting.
Ew. Oh, I don't
Interesting that
know. You know,
Yeah.
I just am told. It's fine.
That's true, I guess, huh? That's very interesting. It specifies nameless.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us what your setup has to include. You have to pick these right now.
Yeah.
Tell us what you're going to be pondering.
The setup. Which one of the advisors do you trust the most? Which one of your advisors is conflicted with your spouse? I need to name my advisors. I'll get to know them later. My court affliction is severe and it's hidden problems.
That's really bad. You have a severe court affliction. Right out the gate.
You know, I'm fierce though. I'm too fierce to deal with my own court. And my special rule is your wish is our command. As long as you don't know the archetype of a nameless courtier, you can use them in challenges. However, you can give an affliction to a nameless courtier and remove the affliction from an advisor.
Wow. Okay, so that's why it says you get to know them as you go. Mm-hmm. So you get to know them as you use them. That's so cool.
You over there.
And then you get to know them and you're like, damn it, now I can't just do that.
Yep.
Very good. Yeah, super cool. Now, so for afflictions like these, basically in the game, just so you players can start kind of pondering how the rules work, you guys are in control of your traits and your perks. You present them to the game master. You make a case for this should apply and this should apply for these reasons. And then the GM is going to use your afflictions against you. They're going to say, you know what, this is one of your hidden problems in your court coming up. And they apply the affliction, and that lowers your potential and lowers your dice pool. So good stuff. That one sounds fun. That is for the newlywed Shadowing Ars Armandi Divinity. has been added. Bright, you have yours figured out yet?
Yes. I went with regime change.
Tell us about regime change.
Your court used to follow a different ruler, and they still follow some of the customs of their former master. Changing this won't be easy.
All right. And you choose 3 key supporters of the law. These have archetypes like the others, such as famous courtesan, experienced steward, veteran bodyguard, etc. So you're going to choose 3 of those with the archetypes.
Asmodeus, Beelzebub, Person.
Yeah, excellent.
Done.
Love it. You have 5 courtiers who follow the law, who follow the old law, as well as 1 exceptional, 4 regular, and 1 problematic courtier. Oh, they follow the old law as well. So an exceptional means that you're going to pick an archetype like normal, bigger potential boost. 4 regulars are just standard. And then you have a problematic courtier. These should be negative archetypes, something that's going to basically add to your affliction list. So you can sort those out. And then tell us about
just make them up?
Pick. Yeah, if anything for archetype, you pick 2 words that describe them, and it's your choice.
So it's 8 total then, because it says 3 key supporters and then 5 courtiers.
Yeah, so that's what confused me as well. So 8 total. So 3 of those are your key supporters, and they have to follow those predetermined archetypes. And then the 5 courtiers, you make up the archetypes.
Jeez. Okay.
And yeah, we'll do those off stream. And then tell us the setup you're going to be pondering off stream there as well.
I have to pick 1.
Nope. So
gotcha.
you'll be answering all of these questions, and you can do these off stream, but just tell us what questions you're going to be answering.
Gotcha. Perfect. What are the old laws and customs your courtiers still follow? What part of the old laws do you want to change the most? And name 3 key supporters of the old law. Create the remaining courtiers now or later in the game. Christ, awesome. I got 11 total NPCs I have to make.
You do, and like we said, like you can throw these in on the fly, or you can keep them pre-sorted.
We're gonna save those celebrity names for later.
Yeah, there you go. Just have some names ready to go if you want to throw somebody in.
Sure.
And then you have a court affliction of problematic law, which is also a severe court affliction. And then tell us about your special rule.
As long as you respect the old law, problematic law doesn't count as an affliction.
Interesting.
Okay.
So you can respect it or you can oppose it, and that'll change that affliction. So there we go. We've got the courts sorted out. That is pretty much the backbones of your characters there. So that's what's gonna, for the most part, make your character. We have 1 step left, I believe, which is we're gonna do the holdings. Now, holdings are interesting. These are in a standard game. If you're running your own campaign, these are going to be made by the game master. But since we're playing in kind of a predetermined domain of New Hethlin, and specifically your province is going to be called Bridgewood Boulevard, you guys are going to pick from some pre-existing holding cards. These cards for you guys, I think I should have had you guys pull these up ahead. I forgot to mention these ones. These are going to be in the Bridgewood Boulevard brochure, which in your hub is the setting cheat sheet. And I think these cards are there. Maybe they're not. Maybe they are in. They're not in the standard character sheet. Maybe these ones aren't shared with you guys. Are they in the player's guide? I think they're in the player's guide.
I don't see them.
Nope, they're not in the player's guide. So I'm gonna read these ones to you guys, and you guys are just gonna choose them from here. There's not a whole lot of these ones, so you guys are each gonna get dealt 2, and you get to pick one. And this is like the central hub for your court. This is like your home base, and you're gonna flesh it out kind of like we did at the courts. You're gonna paint a word picture with it, and it's gonna have some other perks to it. So let's go with Katie first. Your options are Eaglewood Park, or the Stonefront Wine Cellar. Eaglewood Park is a municipal park located on the outskirts of the district with vibrant plant life and its famous oak trees. It's the largest parkland in Bridgewood. Or you have the Stonefront Wine Cellars. This holding is located in old, spacious wine cellars running under a large part of the Bridgewood Boulevard. High arched brick and stone ceilings make for interesting architecture. Which one of those do you want?
I have to go with the wine cellar.
Yeah, obviously, right? That's
Yeah.
awesome.
The other one sounds like it has an HOA. Not really worth
Yeah, lawn maintenance, like a whole thing. No.
Yeah. So, are you ready to take some notes on this for your designing purposes?
Oh, God. Yep.
Number one, it's a wine cellar. Hope you noted that down. The other two of you get ready to take notes. Now, a group of lowborn guard the place. Lowborns are defiant who aren't royalty. They're not mortals. They are defiant, but they're not as privileged and royal as you guys. So they're going to be in your court. Now, your setup is you're going to answer these questions before the next session. What small facility lies on top of the entrance? And how is the interior arranged? You're going to paint a word picture with how the interior is set up, and you're also going to tell us what small facility is on top of the entrance. And then you have these faculties. You're going to add an adjective to each of these, and they're going to be included in your holding. You have a chamber, a storage room, a street level building, and a dungeon. And you're going to add an adjective to each of those. We'll discuss those during the first session, what your holding looks like. Basically, what you guys can get ready for the first session is Defiant is supposed to play out kind of similar to a TV episode, and like a campaign plays out kind of like a season. So when we start the first session, when we start each session, you guys will start every scene in your holding with your court, and you're going to roll to see how your court is doing for that episode. If it's in chaos, if it's doing great, and you're going to answer some questions the GM asks, and that's going to basically determine this, like how your episode's going to start off, in shambles or good. And so for that first episode, be thinking about your holding, because the GM's going to ask how your court's going, what your holding looks like, what kind of activities are going on. That's things you can prep for next session. All right. You good there, Katie? You got those written down? Were you a diligent note taker?
I'm always a diligent note taker.
It's true. You are. I can confirm. You're always
The
good at
correct
taking notes.
response was yes, Daddy.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, let me start over.
Disappointed, Katie.
Let me start over. Yes, Daddy.
Very good. All right. Felicia, your two options are Bridgewood Central, which is a train station that was built in the late 19th century, designed by a famous architect. It quickly became the pride of Bridgewood Boulevard. Or Green Park Avenue, which has several vintage tenement buildings located on a lovely cobbled street that are connected inside, forming one large manor. There used to be a secret club in the basement during Prohibition. So which one of those do you want? The train station or the manor, the secret Prohibition dungeon in the basement?
I love me some like 19th century architecture, but if I can have like a secret Prohibition speakeasy type of thing in my house, let's do it.
Okay, awesome. So we have got Green Park Avenue. So get ready for some notes. A group of lowborn takes care of the building. So Katie's guard it. Yours take care of it. You need to answer next session, what does the interior look like? And you need to know, what is the place known for? And then you're going to add an adjective to each of these facilities. An attic, a basement, a private quarters, and a lounge. So for next session, have an adjective ready for each of those. And make sure that when the GM asks about your holding, you're painting a word picture with these pieces. All right. Bright, last but not least, you get to pick between Providence Hotel, which is a boutique hotel in a characterful. I feel like I'm saying that wrong. Characterful, is that a word?
Mhm.
It is now.
I guess it is. Characterful historic building located in the most prominent part of Bridgewood Boulevard with a magnificent view of the river. Or Odyssey Club. Located just off the boulevard in a less crowded alley, the club has changed owners and styles numerous times for the past 50 years. So do you want a hotel or a club?
We own a club.
I want a club. Awesome.
Yeah.
Seems very.
What's the name of that club?
Odyssey Club. So these are what you got to answer. Now, a group of lowborn works at the club. So Katie's guards, Felicia's take care of. You have employees. You have to answer these questions for next time. What type of club is it? And who can enter the club? And then these are the facilities you have to add an adjective to. A VIP lounge, a bar, a back room, and a stage.
VIP lounge, bar, back room, and stage.
Yep. And that's it, guys. That's it for your cards. So I hope you guys have those cards noted down. You're going to go through those. You're going to make sure you compile them all nicely on your character sheets. The rest of it is just fluff. So we're going to let you guys take care of that off stream. You're going to fill out your character sheet. You're going to give your character a name. You're going to choose the details of your origin powers. So you'll want to look at your origin cards. And also, I would recommend looking through the rule book at like your origin specifics, like your grim scars and your wings and your dark calling and all that. They all have some rules tied to them, so make sure you go over those and flesh those out. You've already chosen your character traits. We did that on stream. Just make sure you've got them compiled nicely so that you have a list of what you can add to your potential when you have to make a challenge. This game is very much not like a roll for everything system. Like if you want to infiltrate a place, you're not going to like roll to pick the lock, roll for stealth, roll to knock out the guard. You're basically going to compile all your traits that can apply to that heist. And then based off of how good your roll was, you and the GM are going to kind of co-narrate how that goes. And the GM is basically going to throw a certain number of challenges and afflictions in your way based off of your roll. So it's not like you're not going to be rolling tons of dice. You're going to be pretty much rolling per scene. You are going to choose the details of your spouse. So make sure you get your spouses fleshed out. Make sure that you get all the details of your court sorted out. Like I said, your courtiers and stuff, they don't have to all be ready except for the very specific ones it calls out.
Shania Twain.
Yeah. I would just make sure you have a nice list of names ready to go if you need to throw somebody into a scene, and you can create them on the fly to kind of be advantageous, right? So just make sure you have a nice visual and word picture ready for your court and their personality. Make sure you choose the details of your holding, which is the last one we did, your club or your manor or your wine cellar. Make sure you've got good word pictures ready to go there. And then make sure you've got all the other details or anything that you need ready to go. The pilot episode is what I just talked about. Typically, we would do that right after character creation, but M's going to be running it, so I want to leave that for her because that's kind of a good way for the characters and the GM to get acquainted and help the DM kind of start rolling with ideas. But just be ready for the pilot episode. There's a section about it in the rule book. It's going to be setting up your holding and your court, painting a word picture. It's basically going to be your character introduction. Everybody's going to have their own little introductory scene that's going to set up the rest of the episode. And I think that's pretty much it. What do you guys think? Pretty cool system, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm funny just talking about it. Let's go.
Right? Like, I'm excited. It's going to be good. Now, I may or may not be playing. I might be playing NPCs. This game works really well for 3 players, so I'll talk with Em. And I was originally going to play, but then I was like, this is designed for 3 players. Maybe I'll just help with character creation. If I do make a character, I'll just pick from the scraps that you guys left.
Good.
And if not, we'll see.
Good.
We'll chat with him. You want me to have scraps, Katie? Is that how this is?
Yeah, Daddy gets the leftovers.
Daddy gets the leftovers.
Daddy eats scraps like a dog.
See,
Daddy.
Apologies, I laughed and I ripped my cord out of my headset. So.
Daddy.
Daddy.
I
Daddy,
missed all
are
the
you
daddy
listening?
jokes, apparently.
This is just falling apart.
Daddy can't
is.
hear us. Daddy.
Yes, let's wrap this up before it falls apart more. So thank you guys, super fun. I love the character creation. I know it's not like always the most exciting stream, but I hope you guys liked following along with us and seeing how we're putting our characters together. I think it's important to show off because I think it's one of the strengths of this game system. So if you want to support the Kickstarter, like, it's a huge perk. I'm sure they're going to have some cards attached to it, I hope. If not, creators, if you're watching, stretch goals, get some physical cards. It'd be very fun to have physical cards for this game. The art in the book is beautiful as is. I don't know if they're planning on expanding it or not, but Kickstarter launches tomorrow, so look for a Defiant physical edition on the Kickstarter. This is by Game Machinery. Super fun game. I've played it before. I love it. I think we're gonna have lots of fun on the stream, so check it out. Our cast, you guys seem wonderful. Tell us about yourselves one more time. Bright or Chris, depending on if you're in trouble or not. Tell us about you.
Yeah, hi everybody. I'm Bright. You can find me on all forms of social media at Bright Dystopia. I am a streamer, voice actor, and Jasper's Game Day ambassador. You can find me on my channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday on my channel, screwing up my own internal dialogue. Apparently now you'll find me here on Wednesdays. You can find me every other Monday on TPK Roleplay playing an Altered Carbon game. And that is it for now, but keep your eyes open for June 26th because we're announcing something pretty soon that I'm going to be doing pretty cool on a big channel real soon.
Oh, very exciting. Awesome. And you said voice actor, so I'm expecting a pretty neat voice for your character.
Oh, there's a voice for this character already. It's fleshed out.
I'm very excited to hear it. Awesome. Felicia, tell us about you.
All right. I am Felicia, as we have noted. I am a player on the SideQuest and podcast for many years now. That's pretty much what I do. I come here and guest spot occasionally. Interested in doing other things too in the future. So go ahead and check us out at thesidequestion.com, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Play, all of those things, or Google Play. Words are hard. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. I am Chase, known to my children and on this stream as Daddy, apparently. Part of Level 1 Geek along with Katie and Em and a bunch of other awesome folks. So yeah, you can find us right here on this channel. I may or may not be on the stream next week. Typically I run our Pathfinder games, Tabletop Treasure Hunters. We're running Fall of Plaguestone right now, and coming back on July 20th, Tabletop Treasure Hunters Season 3. Should be lots of fun. Katie, tell us about you.
You already said it all.
Well, tell me something else. Tell me something new, Katie.
I'll tell you something. You typically don't find me in front of the camera. I push all of the buttons and am currently pushing buttons for this stream. Yeah, I'm here, Level 1 Geek, chatting away. You can check out and sign up for notifications on Game Machinery's Kickstarter. I've put a link in chat.
Look, you're so much more on top of it than I am.
Oh, that's the thing that no one knows. I'm more on top of it than Chase is at all times.
I can't deny it.
That's pretty much it.
Good. That's good stuff. Thank you. Yeah, you guys were great. We'll see you guys next week. For you, chat, if you would like to support our channel, please follow or subscribe on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, any of those fun social media platforms. You can also show your support by purchasing dice and accessories from one of our affiliate partners, or Die Hard Dice down there, or any more fun stuff. Check our links in Discord. We've got some fun things. If you guys would like to catch us and get a more personal chatting going on, definitely check out our Discord. Katie, you want to do the command? You want to put our Discord up? Since you're so on top of things. Oh wow, look at that! So good, so good. No, we have lots of fun in Discord. That's where we can really talk to you guys and interact the best. I would say we've got some fun stuff. I recommend joining it if you want to chat with us. If you're already doing one or all those things, thank you guys so much. We appreciate it. It means the world. You guys help us keep doing what we do, and we love you for it. So thank you guys. We just passed 350 followers, which is awesome. Very exciting milestone for us, and we just keep meeting more of you awesome friends. So thank you for that. Keep spreading the good word. We appreciate it. Now go take a long rest, get your courts in order for next week, and we'll catch you guys next time. Good night, everybody.
Thank you, Daddy.
You're very welcome.
Hi, Daddy.